Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Tonight, by the way, we have a new audio interface set up. It's pretty sweet. So hopefully it sounds a little bit more crisp, a little bit more clear. This is the Shure MV7. I actually want the newer Shure MV7B, but it's very expensive. So I'm not sure. I think this one probably works fine. So I'm not just going to jump right into getting another one. Tonight, we're going to have a little bit of a light topic. We're going to talk about bug-out bags for kids. Ignacio Pintos, I think he says greetings from Uruguay. I think that's what that says. Hopefully I didn't read that incorrectly. Greetings, Ignacio. How you doing? Ground Fog. Welcome to the stream. Welcome everyone else to the stream. If you want to pop your name in the chat and let me know that you're here, you can do so. Otherwise, you don't have to. So first things first, if you haven't signed up yet for our big bug out bag giveaway, make sure that you do. And if I'm doing this right, I'm going to play a video that kind of shows, it's only a couple minutes, it's going to show you the gear in the bug out bag giveaway. But I got to make sure I do the audio correctly. And I got to put in a headset so I can hear to make sure that it's proper. And then I have to go into the chat on my phone, probably YouTube chat in particular, so that someone can tell me if something's wrong with the audio or if it's not playing correctly. So I'm going to do basically a screen share, which I don't think I've done before on here. So I'm going to go to my live channel on YouTube just to kind of monitor so someone can tell me if something is not happening properly. Welcome, Mel. Welcome to the stream. All right, pop in this headset. And I'm going to play this quick video talking about the giveaway. First, I'm going to set it up. Okay, let's give this a shot. Display capture. Whoops, wrong button. All right, now you should be able to see my screen. I'm going to open this wide. Oops, oh no, I forgot to turn on the audio for this. Hold on a second. Let me hide that. All right, desktop audio. Here we go. I'm going to turn off my mic just for a second. Look at all this amazing gear. We're doing another big giveaway. One lucky winner will win the entire bug out bag setup, and 9 other winners will win a copy of my new book, Pace Planning, Your Guide to Emergency Preparedness and Bug Out Strategies. The first 10 winners will also win the film, Ultimate Bug-In and Home Defense, on a USB thumb drive. This giveaway is going to last about 5 weeks, and on Sunday the 23rd, it's going to end at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Go to the link in the bio, sign up for the giveaway, and you can have your chance to win an entire bug out bag setup. I have the bag on order. This backpack is not the backpack you're going to win. You're going to actually win either a Rush 24 or even a Rush 72, a little bit bigger of a backpack. It's going to come with all the items for shelter, fire, water, food, land nav, signaling. There's no communication devices in here that you guys are going to win. You'll have to get your own communication based on your own pace plan, but you're going to win a ton of gear. We have the Boss Fire Kit, a Pathfinder tarp, a wool blanket, a bivvy, couple single-wall stainless steel bottle sets, a really nice poncho, potassium iodide pills for radiation emergencies, the Practical Survival Water Straw, one of the newer Sawyer Minis, a Shemagh, a Camelback bladder, a fishing and hunting kit, paracord and bank line, a really nice Uberleben crafted ferro rod. This is the 8-inch version. Some knot-making cards, the Uberleben Stoker stove, which comes in a nice wax canvas case, a couple Right in the Rain products, including the mechanical pencil, a really nice Sun 2 compass for navigation, and for good measure, one of the smaller Brunton compasses as well. It's going to come with a Nikkor flashlight, stormproof matches, Silky Gone Boy, more a bushcraft knife, an entire signal kit for signaling if you happen to be in an emergency and you need to be found, the Tindar wick, all kinds of different fire starting methods. This bug out bag setup has everything you're going to need and it'll even have room if you need to add a couple of your own items like a trauma kit and things like that. So make sure you go to the link in the bio or maybe the link in the comments of this video and sign up and look through all the different ways you can get extra entries. We don't ever make you make a purchase to get extra entries. That's never a thing with us. It's always no purchase necessary, so you don't actually have to buy anything to get an entry, and you don't have to do anything extra other than sharing on social media and whatever other options we have. Now remember, one winner wins the entire setup, but the first 10 winners will win the book and the film. All right, hopefully you guys could hear that all right. I heard it on my phone, so it seemed like it was working properly. Hopefully the sound...
Stuck with nasal congestion? We've all been there. Afrin No Drip is here to help.
That was an ad, and it must be kicking to another YouTube video, so now I got to turn that off. Super annoying. At least there was no ad during the video that I played. All right. I killed the desktop audio. Sorry about that. All right, if you just joined us, we just played basically the commercial for our free giveaway. Not really a commercial because you're not buying anything. You're just joining the giveaway. So go to the link in our bio if you want to win our Bugout bag, which is a fully loaded Bugout bag. Somebody did suggest on social media that maybe we add either a small trauma kit. So it's possible. This giveaway ends March 24th. So it's about a little over a month. I think I may end up adding a trauma kit. I might also add some Faraday bags. So these are the Faraday bags, the 80 decibel Faraday bags. I got to remember to kind of stay centered with the mic because I have a new setup now. So I got to remember not to go way over here, and I don't have my wireless mic. The wireless mic is not, I don't think is anywhere near as good as this mic. But let me know in the chat if this microphone is much more clear. I'm using a new audio interface, which actually I can show you that. Let me zoom in here to the book and then move over to the audio interface. And I can zoom a little more. This is the Scarlett 2i2. It's really nice. You can plug in a microphone. You can plug in a guitar. There's basically 2 channels. There's a lot of different features to that mic. To that audio interface. It's pretty slick. And again, eventually I'll get the better mic, which is the newer version of the Shure MV7. So I think I may throw in some Faraday bags as part of the giveaway. And I may throw in a trauma kit as well. We'll see. We have a whole month left. Maybe what we'll do is every week we'll add something else cool to the giveaway. There's still going to be 10 winners total, so 9 of you, of course, will win our book and then one of our latest films on a USB thumb drive. And the main winner will win the whole enchilada. All right, so when it comes to, David Warner says the new mic is nice. Kudos for the upgrade. Yeah, so I listened to a couple of the streams from before, and the wireless mic is, it's okay. But compared to like a regular, even this mic before, when I used it before, I didn't have a good audio interface with it, and I used basically a USB to connect it to the computer. Well, this is a new laptop, so I use the USB 3 with the new interface, and I used a regular XLR cable for the mic, and it seems to be light years better than what the audio was before. So I did a bunch of research. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch. I did some research on the audio interfaces, and it seemed like a lot of people were suggesting that one that I got, which is I think it's called the Focusrite. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. You can actually get one that's one channel if you don't need to plug a second mic or like a guitar into it, and it's a little cheaper. But not that I play well. I do have a guitar that I could plug into that, but you're probably never going to see that on stream because I'm terrible. Now, my son, on the other hand, just picked up guitar. I was trying to teach him, and I did a very terrible job. And then he picked it up and started practicing on his own, and now he can play a bunch of different songs, and he's a lot better than I am, but I also don't practice. So there's that. And please, someone at the end of this stream, remind me to turn the heater back on because it's going to be pretty cold tonight, and it was really loud. It was buzzing quite a bit, so I turned it off. So someone please remind me to turn the heat back on after this stream. All right, so Bugout bags for kids, children, doesn't have to be young kids. Keeping kids prepared and calm in an emergency situation is is really crucial. So there's a lot of people that when they think about preparedness and they think about pace planning, it's more of, hey, it's me, my girlfriend, or my boyfriend, or my husband. Maybe it's, close friends or family members. And a lot of the times the kids just kind of go along for the ride. I don't think it should be that way. I think that your children should be getting training in as much as you can, as often as you can. Your kids from a very young age should know how to start a fire, should know how to get a proper tinder bundle, should know how to make a makeshift shelter if they have to. They should have, you really should work on them having the same exact skills that you have as an adult. Back when we were younger, the Boy Scouts was a big thing. It turned out to be a creepy organization with a lot of crazy stuff. So what are you going to do? But I don't see a lot of that in schools anymore. I don't see them teaching a lot when it comes to basic outdoor preparedness, or even the basics like the Boy Scouts used to do, get badges for certain things. David Warner says Faraday bags and trauma kits would be really nice. If you're still taking suggestions for the bug out bag, may I suggest a Hummer? It would really make bugging out much easier. One of those old school H2 Hummers, not the new ones. The new ones are not that great. Or you're thinking like military style Hummer. Just so everybody knows, we don't have that kind of money at Survival Summit. Otherwise, I would not be in northern Vermont working at a full-time job and running Survival Summit at the same time. But hey, you know what? If I was rich and I had a ton of money, I would give a Hummer away in a in a giveaway. Why not? Why not throw really cool stuff out there and let people win like amazing stuff? So you should hope that I become rich someday, because I will probably give away so much stuff that I wouldn't even be running a business anymore. But whatever. Welcome to the stream, David. Welcome, Rabbit Hole. Welcome, everyone. So again, try to get out there with your kids. Try to discuss as much as you can when it comes to survival, but make it fun. Don't take them out there like a drill instructor and try to force them to learn how to start a fire. Make it fun. Maybe have contests, especially if you have more than one child. Make it a contest. They win a prize or something if they can start a fire faster than the other person. Make it a competition. Competition, drives kids just like it drives adults, and I think it could be really good. So we're going to talk about essential items, kind of age-appropriate supplies, strategies, tips for assembling the bags, and basically the main point of this stream is really going to talk about emergency preparedness and training for your kids. Not only knowing how to use certain amounts of gear, knowing how to take care of the main things you need to take care of in survival: shelter, fire, water, food, medical. You may not be immediately teaching them land navigation because you hope that they're not going to be out there on their own. They should learn it for sure, but you really want to focus on the core four first so that they can, especially if they get lost somewhere in the woods, they know how to make a primitive shelter, get themselves out of the rain, out of the weather, out of the cold. You need to make sure that they understand how to take care of their basic human needs. Rabbit Hole says preparedness must be taught at home. Public schools are not suitable to teach essential skills. Yeah, they're definitely not. Really, really are not. I wish they would bring some of this stuff to the schools, but that may never happen. So you really do need to teach it at home. So if you're a parent and you have children and maybe you don't take enough time and do any training when it comes to survival and preparedness, I think do it for your kids. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it to teach your kids new skills. Teach them how to use trauma gear. Teach them all about first aid. Take them, to some of those classes they do that are Stop the Bleed. Some of those are free in certain places. Just really, it might also help them get off their devices. If your kids are on their cell phones or their tablets or their gaming systems far too often, I'm not saying there's something wrong with them spending a little bit of time on certain things, but you really want to get them off their devices as much as you can. And if you have really interesting, cool stuff, and a lot of kids, you'll be surprised, they will love to do outdoor camping. They might not like overnight at first, but they're really going to love to learn these types of skills because it's in our DNA. As humans, we're supposed to be able to take care of ourselves. We're supposed to be out in nature. We're not supposed to be trapped in these buildings with all these electronics. This is all, I don't want to say a bunch of nonsense, but in a lot of ways it is a bunch of nonsense. So kids are a lot more adaptable to learning survival skills than you might think. And again, anything you can do to not just teach them skills and get them off their devices, but really broaden their horizons, especially when it comes to, like I said, the core items that you need to stay alive: shelter, fire, water, food, and medical. You want to make sure that you can teach them. And I mean, I think my son was 5 or 6 when he learned how to use a tourniquet and learned a lot of different things about first aid and trauma. And then I got him very early on starting all kinds of different fires. You want to make sure that they're exposed to these things for the knowledge, for the skill. Some people might think, you know what, we don't ever need to do that because unless something crazy happens, but that's not true. You need to be able to take care of your core human needs in any type of event, wildfires, floods, your kid gets lost. There's so many different things that happen to people on a daily basis across the country, a lot of crazy stuff. You also want to teach your children escape and evasion. You want to make sure they understand how to get out of rope, zip ties, duct tape. I'm not saying you have to teach them all and give them all little handcuff keys and handcuff shims and stuff like that. But you really need to make sure they have the skills to get out of bindings. Sometimes it's as simple as putting Kevlar laces on their shoes or paracord laces, because you can use those to get through heavy-duty zip ties, duct tape, rope, things like that. I'm not saying you have to go completely advanced when it comes to escape and evasion, but this is just another thing, because a lot of crazy things happen in this world. There's a lot of sick people out there. So why not teach your sons and daughters how to be able to escape from a bad situation? Why not give them those skills? And again, you don't have to go to a live training somewhere if you don't want to spend the money, or if it's too much time, or the only good place is really far away. You can do a lot of online training. And it's not just Survival Summit. We're not the only ones that offer online training. Online training, especially after COVID, has really become a big thing. And there is a ton of information out there. So there was a guy that I talked to today on the phone, actually. He was, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. He's a emergency room doctor, and he was on season 9 of Alone. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name, even though I talked to him today. Anyway, he's starting to do a lot of online training and a lot of things when it comes to survival and preparedness, kind of on the medical side. And I'm going to learn a little bit more information about what he's offering, because I'd like to bring that to you guys and see if we can get some kind of collaboration going, because we need more people in that medical side, in the medical community, that can really teach people. But I can tell you his website. It's survivaldoctors.com. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I should probably look, but I'm almost positive it's survivaldoctors.com. I would definitely check him out. You may remember him if you watched season 9 of Alone. He really seems like a great guy. Rabbit Hole says, as kids, we mastered hide and seek skills. Yeah, you don't even see a lot of that anymore. A lot of people, it's crazy. You need to get the kids outside. Keep them in your general area. I wouldn't let them do what we did, take our bikes, 15, 20 miles across town and come back when it's before it's dark. That could be a little crazy, especially if you live in a bigger city area. That could be a little bit dangerous. The world is a little bit insane right now, so I'd be a little bit careful. All right, so a bug-out bag can really be a lifeline for kids whose understanding and coping mechanisms are still developing. Frontal lobes are developing up until what? I think they said the age of like 25 or something crazy. So especially when they're young, there's a lot of things that could traumatize kids that you may not think about as an adult. So you want to offer familiar items beyond just taking care of the core needs. You want to make sure, especially if they're really young, you want to have something that's there, like their favorite toy, their favorite book, whatever it may be. You have to be able to keep their mind off, like let's say there's a house fire and you have to meet, at someone else's house in a different neighborhood. You want to make sure that your children are comfortable and that they understand that you have it under control, which is why, and you don't see it very often anymore, but
people don't really do fire drills and things like that. They don't do a lot of what I would consider pace planning drills with their families. And I'm guilty of that as well. I haven't done a fire drill. We just moved into the new house I think it was almost 2 years ago. And I haven't done any type of fire drill. I mean, I probably should. I have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen right near one of the exits. There's one in the basement. We have plenty of alarms and things like that. But I'm guilty of the same thing. I haven't sat down with the family and explained, if there's a fire, this is where we're going to meet. We also have a couple different outbuildings, but this is something that I should be doing as well. We just become complacent sometimes. Even guys like me that run a survival and preparedness company, in certain aspects, become complacent. My son asked me the other day as well, hey, Dad, what's going on with our alternate and contingency locations? And I have those locations already set, but he's 15. I haven't discussed kind of the details of that because a couple of them are a good distance away. But I talked to him yesterday and I said, hey, you know what? We're gonna talk about it, and I need to get you in the loop. I'm gonna start using, especially for him, I'm gonna start using these Mad Gear Company contingency planners. So if you haven't checked out Mad Gear, we're not an affiliate. We don't make money if you buy their stuff, unless you do it on the TikTok shop, and it's linked to one of our videos. But other than that, we're not an affiliate. These contingency planners by Mad Gear Company are really amazing. They have a ton of information. I have a couple videos on social media that shows you guys exactly what they are and talks about them. And there's going to be a stream coming up. A guy on our Discord who's one of our moderators, Rabid Peanut is his name on Discord. So if you are on our Discord server, he suggested in staff chat the other day that we should do a stream about street maps versus topographical maps and things like that, kind of in that subject area. And I think it's a great idea, and I'm definitely going to do that for a stream where we're going to talk about different types of maps. We can tie it into pace planning. We can tie it into preparedness. But I had to order some, not blank, but some topo maps that are not of alternate and contingency areas, because clearly I'm not going to share anything map-wise that I have of any of my actual plan. That would be insane. But I do have some stuff coming on the way that are some blank topo maps that I can show you guys. So that stream could be next week or it could be the week after. But I think it's going to be a really good one. Aaron Johnson says, one thing I've heard for a kid's bug out bag is to get a duplicate of their, I think he meant favorite plushie, to put it in to help calm them down. Age dependent. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to have something that reminds them of home. Even if it's, if it's a stuffed animal, if they're young, if it's pictures of the family, have a pad and a paper, something where they can draw, just something to normalize the situation, to help them feel like not only do you have it under control, but they're safe and it's at least a little bit normalized. That's the main thing, I think, especially if they're younger children. I mean, if you have, I guess it depends on your kids, too, because you might have a 10 or a 12-year-old that's very mature for that age, or you might have a 10 or a 12-year-old that's not quite as mature. It really depends on kind of where they're at psychologically. But again, so when you want to start out with their kit, if they're really young, even though it's the core items like shelter, fire, water, food, if they're 5 years old, I wouldn't be sticking stormproof matches in their bug out bag. I wouldn't put a really sharp bushcraft knife in their pack. You have to really go by their experience level, and you're not exactly duplicating everything that's in your bug out bag in a young child's bug out bag. You do want to have supplemental items in the winter, of course, specifically for them. You do want to make sure that they have shelter, water, food, maybe not so much fire, because if your child is too young and they don't know how to use fire, yes, could you keep stormproof matches or an extra lighter in their pack? You can. Really, you should have some basic items as EDC, your everyday carry, that are on you, plus in your bug out bag. So you really shouldn't have to duplicate certain items, especially if you're properly using a pace plan of primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. 2 is 1, 1 is none, and you have backups. And especially if you have a husband and wife situation, or an older child and yourself that basically do have duplicate bug out bags that have most of the same items. So don't overpack a young child's bug out bag. And also don't think your young child doesn't need a bug out bag, because they should have their own, in my opinion. It's just not going to be quite as elaborate as yours, especially if they're too young, don't have the skill set, or even if they did, they're just too young to do certain things. Like your 5-year-old's not going to build, as part of their pace plan, a bow drill set. They're probably not going to use a ferro rod. They're not going to be able to strike sparks off a ferro rod very well. And you might not even want them playing with stormproof matches, because those things are really, really awesome. But they can burn you pretty easily, and if you don't know what you're doing, it could be a problem. So you need to be careful. But again, make sure that they have some way to be comfortable. You need to alleviate fear and anxiety for the kids, especially in a crazy situation where something is going on. You need to make sure, and like I said, or like someone in the chat said, it could be one of their favorite toys, but make sure no matter what, that you at least have their extra food and water supplies in their own setup. That would be pretty important, in my opinion. You want to make sure. So here's kind of an example. If, let's say they're 7 to 13, 7 to 15, whatever the age, based on their maturity, their experience, and their training. These ages are kind of rough. But you should have, as an example, something like a rain poncho in the winter, a wool blanket, a sleeping bag. You want them to have their own way to procure water, whether it's a filter and a stainless steel bottle or both. Emergency food rations, definitely very important depending on their age. A lighter, a ferro rod, and stormproof matches, hopefully. That's at least part of the pace plan. Some kind of a lightweight tarp, some paracord, a first aid kit, and especially if you're in an area where there's a lot of bugs, it's going to be really important to have bug spray. You definitely want bug spray if you may be traveling from point A to point B in the middle of summer, especially if you live in an area that's heavily wooded. That's the last thing you want, is your kids getting just destroyed by bugs and stressing everyone out because things are crazy and you just forgot to put bug spray in your kit. A knife, of course, if they're experienced and they have training and skills how to use a knife. You can get them a silky saw. I was going to show you, but it's actually behind me. Some signaling items, and teach them how to be able to signal and try to get help. And if they're old enough, they should have their own communication devices, whether that's a two-way walkie-talkie or the walkie-talkie with the GMRS, or even a ham radio, some way to communicate with you, even if, say, you're at one part of your journey and you end up on your way to the alternate location and you have to go back for something, or you have to go to a cache somewhere. You still want to be able to communicate with them if you're not taking them all with you to go to that cache or to resupply, whatever it is you happen to be doing. And if they're well-trained, personal security items. So depending on the age of the children, I was going to say pew-pew, but I'm not on TikTok, so I can say firearms. I think I won't get in trouble for that on YouTube. But if they have the skills and they have the training, which hopefully they do, they should have some personal protection of their own. Obviously, very age-dependent. So younger children that are younger, typically than 7, 8, 9. If they're much younger, especially if they don't have training, again, you don't want to mirror the same types of items, exactly the same types of items in the bug out bag. Just be really cognizant of what their skill level is, and don't pack a bunch of extra stuff. Like, don't try to throw in everything, including the kitchen sink, in their pack. You don't want to make it too heavy. You don't want to have to be carrying, because in some cases you may be carrying your child and their pack. But if they have a really nice light pack and they're in decent shape and they can carry it themselves, just don't overload it, and you shouldn't really have that much of an issue. So make it a personalized approach to emergency preparedness. That's going to enhance the effectiveness of the bug out bag throughout the whole group. It's going to strengthen that bond between child and parent. It's going to reinforce that sense of security and love, of course, in whatever the challenging time happens to be. Ideally, you're training your children in basic survival techniques as early as possible in life and getting them used to be able to take care of themselves when you're not there. So that's what I would say And again, if I didn't mention it, you want to make sure in their first aid kit that moleskin bandages, if they don't have them in their kit, you want to make sure you have them in your kit, because the last thing you want is a blister to get really painful while you're hiking if you're not able to travel by vehicle. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Moleskin bandages are a lifesaver. And of course, other than basic stuff like antiseptic wipes, any prescription medications that you may need, or especially if your child has an allergy, if you have to go to somewhere like Jace Medical, try to get some extra EpiPens, things like that. You can get a lot of chronic prescriptions. If you have chronic issues, you can get stuff like that from Jace Medical. You can, I think I have a link. Yeah, I have a link in my bio to Jace Medical. But there's almost anything that's chronic for like off-grid types of things that you can get from them. So I would highly recommend having backup, especially when it comes to EpiPen if your children are allergic to things like that. For sure. All right, let me just go back to the comments. And again, if you just came in, if you just joined us, don't forget, go to the link in the bio and join our Bugout Bag giveaway, where you're going to get all kinds of stuff. And I'm pretty sure each week I'm going to add something else to that giveaway, whether it's a trauma kit or whether it's Faraday bags, things like that. Ambient Audio says, I hope expiration dates on Twinkies are a decent amount of time because I want them in my Bugout bag. Ambient is a moderator on our Discord. I think I made you a moderator on Discord, Ambient. I'm not sure. If I did, maybe that was a mistake. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I don't think Ambient actually has Twinkies in his pack. He's probably just saying that. He should have at least SOS emergency rations or Daytrex bars or pemmican or whatever it may be. And if you want to make your own emergency rations, you can do that. I don't remember when it was, but I have a video on YouTube, and I think it's on all of social media, that shows you guys how to make your own emergency rations. And I can give you the ingredients right now. I just have to flip to the blog. I don't think it's that far back. And I think I remember most of it, but I don't want to give you bad ingredients. So I'm going to go back and find this blog real quick. So emergency rations, like the SOS emergency rations, will last about 5 years. And you can make them fairly cheap yourself. They're not the best ingredients for you, so you're definitely not going to want to eat it long term for sure. All right, found the ingredients. So essentially you need 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of cornstarch. And if you're looking for this blog, by the way, if you want these ingredients and the instructions for this blog on our website is about 4 pages in, and it's called Homemade Emergency Rations. So if you go to our website and just type in Homemade Emergency Rations, it should pull up with the blog. All right, so 2 cups of white sugar, 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of honey, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of vegetable shortening, and then 4 tablespoons of vanilla extract. I actually think right now my wife is making vanilla extract at home. So she had to pick up some vodka, I think at like 10 a.m., so she probably looked like an alcoholic at the store. But she makes a lot of homemade vanilla extract herself. And I thought she said she was doing that tonight. See, I do listen. I think she's listening to the stream right now. So I just want her to know that when she talks, for at least half the time, I hear what she says. And for at least 25% of the time, I listen to what she says. Sometimes 30%, but that's kind of a stretch. Just kidding. So basically, you're going to take those ingredients, you're going to mix them up as well as you can, like you're making pizza dough or whatever. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Mix, basically, you're going to spread out the ingredients on a flat, large cookie sheet, and you want them to be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick. And I actually think I have a video where I showed this as well. These ingredients are really high fat content, and they have a lot of carbohydrates. So you can get a lot of emergency food calories, especially if you're on the move from something like this. You're basically going to bake it for about 25 minutes at 350 degrees, and then you're going to let it sit when it's done, a little bit harder than pie crust. Let it cool off, cut it into whatever shapes you want, preferably put it in a vacuum sealer, and store it that way. And it's much cheaper I don't know though, because the SOS emergency rations, if you go, I wouldn't recommend buying them on Amazon because I looked and there was a case of 20, and I want to say they were like $150, which is crazy. If you go directly to SOS emergency Google SOS emergency rations, I think you can get them direct from SOS. I think they're 120 or 115 for a case of 20. So they're actually a lot cheaper. Sometimes Amazon doesn't have the best deals. And I think they're more expensive on Amazon because the case is kind of heavy. So they're probably tacking a little bit on because, they have to do a little something for shipping. Anyway, highly recommend them. They don't taste bad, and I believe they're good for at least negative 20 or 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the cold, and they're good for, I think, 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can keep them in your trunk in the middle of the summer, and you should be able to keep them in your vehicle in the middle of the winter as well without having to worry about it. But remember, with emergency rations, especially if you make them yourself, you want to put the date because they're only going to last 5 years. And if you make them yourself, you might want to rotate them a few months earlier than the 5 years. That's one thing that I have to keep up with a lot is rotating different stocks. So I had to buy a whole new case of SOS emergency rations, I think at least twice in the last decade. And I think I may even have I think I threw away all the ones that were expired. And when it comes to the SOS emergency rations, I don't know if they probably last a little longer than the 5 years, but it's not the chance I want to take. And if you can get them at like $6 or $7 per 3,600 calorie bar, then just replace them. Don't take the risk of eating bad food, especially if you're in a bad situation and you need to eat. The last thing you want is to get sick and then have a bunch of different issues. And again, if you are looking for emergency antibiotics or emergency, EpiPens, basically anything for chronic conditions, you definitely should check out Jace Medical. We do make a small commission if you use the link in our bio to get gear from Jace Medical, but they have a lot of great stuff. If you missed the live stream with Dr. Roland, who's the founder of Jace Medical, that live stream was, I think, a couple weeks ago, and that is still live on all the same platforms, Facebook, X, YouTube. Not on Twitch. Twitch, I think, only has 2 or 3 live streams saved. So it was the last few of them. But I would definitely check them out. And again, we don't make any commissions unless you buy them off the TikTok shop, specifically from one of our videos for Mad Gear Company. Mad Gear Company is a really, really, really awesome company. MC Stormy says, we eat the kids, no? No. No, Yoda, you don't eat the kids. That's another moderator in our Discord, and sometimes we have a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Discord, so you definitely want to join Discord. Let me see if I can put the link here in chat. I have to pull it off. I have to disable streamer mode. I made that mistake last time. All right, here we go. Link, invite people. I'm going to put the link in the chat to our Discord right now. This link, I think, is only a 7-day link, so if you are going to join Discord, all right, I just hit enter. You should see that any second. And just for those of you who didn't know, EJ Snyder from the hit show Naked and Afraid is also in our Discord, and I made a specific channel for EJ in our Discord, and the channel is called EJ Snyder Naked and Afraid. I am going to make him a voice channel once I can make sure that he knows how push to talk works and he's good with all the tech side of everything. But if you have any questions for EJ, if you're on our Discord server, you can go. You're better off going to that channel, EJ Snyder Naked and Afraid, the text channel, and just at EJ Snyder, tag him and ask the question, and he should see it at some point. Just don't bombard him with a bunch of crazy stuff. Just Mastica's. Mastica is another guy who's probably going to be a moderator if he comes into our Discord. I think he may have already joined, actually. He's from a different Discord, crypto Discord that we were part of before. And I have yet to see him in Discord, so we'll have to track him down. Also, who's on Discord is Nino. Nino418 is his username. He's one of our moderators on Discord, and he has his own channel called Overlanders and Vehicle. So basically, bug out vehicles, overlanding, pretty much all things when it comes to off-road vehicles. So if you have questions for Nino, you can tag Nino in the Overlanding and Vehicles channel in Discord. Now, we also have a poker chat. We haven't set up it yet, but on Discord, I think we're going to start, at least on the weekends, start playing some, not for money, it's obviously free, just for bragging rights. We'll have some online poker in the poker room of the Discord channel. We did it before for quite a while, and it was pretty cool. David, welcome. I don't want to try to say your last name because I might not get it right. Damilar? I don't know if I said that right. MC Stormy says, Nino, whoops. I think a notification just came across. Now, if you do join, keep in mind that once you get in, you'll get an auto message that tells you to go to the rules section and put agreed. Once you do that, you won't be able to see any channels until one of the moderators or me clicks on your name after you've said agree in the rules section and then changes your status to a standard member versus unverified. So if you get in there and you hit agreed and it's like midnight, somebody may not see it till the next day or in the morning, so you may not be able to see the channels until you actually become a standard member. I've been trying to keep up with it and make sure that either myself or some of the moderators that are in there are getting in there and making sure to change your statuses. Occasionally, moderators, if you see someone's status, their name in white, and you go to click on the name, and it doesn't let you change their status, that could be because they're no longer on the server. I think it'll say, like, no longer, you can't load the profile anymore. I think that's because they got in, and then somehow they got out of the server, but their name still showed up. Anyway, sorry. But that link to Discord is in the chat, so if you want to join our Discord, you should come on in. All right, see, we just got someone, Jim. We got Jim in here, and I'm going to click his name, make him a standard member, unclick verified, and then now Jim should be able to see all the channels. And there is a voice channels as well, and I think I have the channel set up so you have to have push to talk on. Push to talk, you can set it up through Discord where you would press whatever key you choose on your computer when you set it up, and then you don't have an open mic because sometimes open mics can be a real pain in Discord. So when you want to talk, you press whatever key you designed for push to talk, and then as you're holding the key down, that's when you talk. And usually you'll probably see me more often in there on the weekends, or maybe even I'll probably be in there tomorrow at some point because there's no stream again until Thursday. MC Stormy, your cam's doing weird things. It's zooming in and out. Oh, hold on. A little bit or like a lot? You know what? Hold on. That actually might be set on tracking. That's why. I got to change it. It's set on tracking. But it does do that. It does do that little weird push in and out. Or if I do this, it'll zoom in because that's like I say that now it doesn't work. Come on. I'm calling my camera a loser. It's supposed to zoom in. There we go. When I do this, it has like zoom hand signals. And then if I want to go back out, I just do that again. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure why it does that. This is the OBS bot camera. I mean, it wasn't cheap. It was like $250 for a webcam, but it does have a little bit of issue with some of the zoom. I tried to do it in closer and further away, but it didn't seem to make much of a difference. But it's fine. I was using my Nikon Z camera, my really, really nice camera, but I couldn't get it to do the autofocus without you seeing like the stupid little squares and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why it just moved again. I might need to turn off gesture control because sometimes if I'm moving around or doing stuff with my hands, it kind of messes up. So I need to change that and remember to keep off tracking. But other than that, it's a pretty cool camera. I like it. It's a lot easier because with the Nikon or with any other type of mirrorless camera, you have to set up, I think I have one in here actually. You have to set up Cam Link. You can do Cam Link like this. This is basically a Cam Link. This will take the video from like your mirrorless or whatever camera, even DSLR if you have a nice clean HDMI output, and it'll put it into the computer so it'll actually work kind of as a webcam. I have this version of Cam Link, which is the 4K version, and then I have another one that's 1080 that's a little bit different, but I don't need to use it now that I have this OBS bot camera. Now, these cameras, they have $1,000 version of this camera that's made for supposedly production, but I can't justify getting it. This one's good enough. And what if I buy that really nice one and the picture's better, but it still does this stupid zoom thing? Then I'm going to be really annoyed and I'm going to have to return it. So, but again, I'm really happy that I got the audio interface. I think it's really cleaned up the audio. Now, hopefully, the next time I bring a guest in, I was having issues with the audio being too low. Hopefully, I can make those adjustments in the interface, and I don't have the same issues. The interface is essentially like a preamp, and it just cleans up the audio, especially through the XLR cable. Been trying to learn a lot of this stuff on the fly, because as some of you who know me know that I just started live streaming not that long ago, although I think it's been a couple months at this point. And I was streaming on TikTok every single day. I actually streamed on TikTok last night. Those are not scheduled streams. They're just very random. And I get on there on the off days when I feel like it. But I think tomorrow I'm probably going to be on Discord. So if you guys want to talk on Discord and you have a microphone and you want to do live in the voice channel, we can go in the voice channel and we can talk about whatever you guys want. Just remember, we have a ton of moderators in there, so don't say anything crazy. Don't be insane, and you should be fine. I want to say there is 9,600. There's about 112 people in the Discord as of today, it looks like. And I want to say we have at least 6 or 7 moderators, and I know all of them from a different previous server. EJ Snyder is actually a moderator as well. But I don't know how much he knows about Discord. So that part I got to figure out. Again, if you want to join Discord, just go to the link in the chat, and there is a link to Discord where you can ask to join, agree to the rules, and then, like magic, you will be part of the Discord. I really want the Discord to get much, much bigger so that we can, have community groups, especially if we have a lot of people that are in similar areas. And then if you guys, if you say, hey, you know what, we have, 10 people that are from whatever, this specific area or this specific state, and we want to kind of coordinate with each other. Can you make a separate channel for whatever, Michigan, or can you make a separate channel for, a certain part of Tennessee or wherever it is? And then we can do that. We can add another channel, and we can really turn it into kind of a big community. Maybe you guys can start training together. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And right now, when we're running the giveaway, we're getting more people into Discord because one of the extra entries, which pretty sure it's an extra entry if you join our Discord. So if you want extra entries, if you're already part of the Bugout Bag giveaway and you want extra entries, you can do that. I'm actually going to go look and see, because I don't remember offhand exactly everything that I made available for extra entries. There's even daily entries, so you can do entries every day if you'd like. All right. I'm not signed into it, so it's going to make me do it again to be able to see them. Essentially, the daily entries are like looking at certain videos or looking at, the book on Amazon or sharing on social media or sharing with different people. There's a lot of different options to get a lot of entries. And again, every single one of them is free. You don't ever have to buy anything. MC Stormy says, Canada, no Canada. And by the way, I'm sorry, Canada, about U.S. crushing you in hockey the other day. And I know that Thursday is the rematch, but it's not going to go any different. I just want to point that out. And if we get any more boos for the national anthem, we are going to beat the crap out of your players again. No offense. It's not cool, man. You can't boo the national anthem. That's just wrong. And I don't think it went well in Boston the other day. I don't think it went well at all. I believe one of the teams came here. Well, I'm not there right now, and it didn't go well for them. They heard the crowd very loudly. Massachusetts is kind of a crappy state when it comes to a lot of really far left liberal policies. But hey, MC Stormy, I know 2-1 isn't a crushing, but it was a crushing. And I sent you. Oh, come on, we didn't lose 2 out of those 3 fights. Canadians can't fight. Everybody knows that. Just kidding. Everybody from Canada. Joke. It's just a joke. Don't get mad at me. The compilation is awesome. So if you want to look at some cool compilations of all the crazy stuff. Wait, did somebody else just post the Discord again? That wasn't me. But that is my screen name. What? What is happening right now? That's kind of weird. It just put the link on again. So I guess MC Stormy, I guess that means you're not going to be listening to Thursday's stream because of the rematch. That's just wrong. Yeah, Ambient, I know you're sorry. Canadians are always sorry. They always say, I'm sorry. You're not allowed to say that anymore, Ambient. I told you that. Don't apologize. Be who you are and be good with it. All right, no more hockey talk. No one cares about hockey. That's not really true, but the stream isn't about hockey. So, all right. So again, if you want to learn how to make those emergency rations yourself without having to spend money, except for obviously the ingredients, which are going to be a lot cheaper, I think, then just go to our website, thesurvivalsummit.com, and type in, what am I doing? I can just literally post the blog in the chat, and then you guys can check it out if you'd like. I don't know why I'm like telling you to do all this crazy stuff when I could literally put the link right in the chat. All right, link's going in the chat right now. Anybody have any other questions when it comes to children's bug out bags and things like that? I'm not an instructor, but I have a lot of experience with gear, and we've worked with a ton of different instructors, so I have a lot of information up here. I would highly recommend that you guys do some in-person training every chance that you get, as long as you have it in the budget. And then if you don't, try to do as much online training as you possibly can, because like I said, there is a lot of online training. Just in the last few years, there's so much more than there ever was before. Ambient Audio asks, what is the best veggie to grow for quick food in a survival situation? Well, what do you mean quick? I guess it depends. You're in Canada, Ambient, and maybe you should put some. You could build. You could make. You could keep like a root cellar, and you could do potatoes in your basement or something. I would try to grow as many vegetables and try to have as many fruit trees as you possibly can. I mean, you can get heirloom seeds online. You can also have like sprout kits. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Potatoes. I don't have like a root cellar or anything, but there's a lot of things that you can kind of do year round in your house as well. There's a lot of things that you can do as far as vegetables if you have the right lighting. There's a lot. You know, try to figure out that kind of stuff, like all the hydroponics and things like that. There's always, no matter how skilled you are at whatever it is you do in preparedness, there's always another skill you can learn. There's always going to be something that'll help you be more self-sufficient. It'll help you be able to self-sustain in a lot of different scenarios. So just constantly, as much as humanly possible, learn and absorb as much information as you can. MC Stormy says carrots, green beans. Ambient, I don't see you as a farmer necessarily. That's not a knock on you, buddy, but I don't know that if you'd be a very good farmer. I could see you hunting, and I like your property up there in Canada. Maybe I should make your location one of my contingency locations, just in case. That means that I would be storing some emergency supplies at your location, which we've already mapped out and we've already looked at on the topo map. So it's actually a decent area, close enough to the border, far enough away from everybody else. Could be a good spot. But you definitely want to keep some. I would recommend 25-year emergency food rations as a main stockpile. Not for emergency rations if you're on the move or in a bug-out bag, because you need quite a bit of water to reconstitute freeze-dried foods. But for storage at your house, and again, you don't have to go out and buy, you don't have to go to mypatriotsupply.com, which you can go to. We have a link in our bio for them as well. But you can make your own stuff. Get some buckets with nice covers. The food-grade buckets are a little bit thicker. They're usually 0.90. Some of the Home Depot buckets are a little thinner. They're not quite as good. But I like to use Mylar bags inside, so you can technically use whatever buckets you want. They don't have to be food grade. I just think some of the food grade are a little bit stronger and a little bit better. And you can put rice, pasta, sugar, salt. You can put all kinds of dried foods like dried beans. And if you put them in a Mylar pouch and then you seal it, and a lot of the times you want to use an iron to seal it, even if it has the sealer, because when you go to put it in the bucket, sometimes that will open. So you want to make sure you seal that shut with an iron. But before you do that, put an oxygen absorber inside there to take all the oxygen out after it's sealed. And most of that food will last an extremely long time, decades. So if you want to do it more cheaply, you can make your own. I mean, you can buy food grade buckets in Mylar. You can get the Mylar bags that come with oxygen absorbers right on Amazon. And they're not that expensive. And you can start packing your own food. So if you don't have the money to spend $2,000-$3,000 on a year's supply of freeze-dried food, start putting away pasta and rice. Pasta's fairly cheap. Start doing that maybe once a week. Fill up another 5-gallon bucket and, throw in the Mylar, throw in the oxygen absorber, seal it up, put the date on the container, write what it is in the bucket. And that's also a really good thing if you are trying to keep food supplies, especially long-term food supplies, at your alternate and contingency locations, especially if it's a friend's or a family's. David Werner says, don't forget to turn on your heater. Oh, thank you. I actually completely forgot about the heater. Completely. And if my wife is watching the stream, please text me when the stream is over. I know you're listening. Please text me when it's over, because it's starting to feel a little cold in here. So, which is fine. I don't care about that. I usually keep it at around 60 to 64 in here no matter what. But the couple times that I forgot to turn it on and I woke up and it was like 40, that's a little bit of a problem. MC Stormy, did you grow any corn this year? Ambient. Yeah, ambient. Were you growing corn this year? Hopefully it wasn't cow corn. I'm sorry. I don't see Ambient as a farmer. Although I haven't seen your face in a very long time, Ambient. Do you, never mind. I don't want to say anything crazy. Not on the stream. We'll save that for Discord. We get a little more wild in Discord and say a lot more crazy stuff in there. All right, I'm just going to put the Discord link in the chat one more time if I can find it. Here we go. Whoops. And feel free to get in there and talk to each other and, put memes. You'll see a lot of different channels. Like we have a weekend events channel. We have a channel for photography. It's not just survival and preparedness. You guys can, and if you want other types of channels, something more specific, let me know and we can see about adding those. The voice channels. Right now we have a general voice. We have a channel for mic check. So if you want to go in there and make sure your microphone's not all crazy, you can ask someone else to go into the mic check room. There's one for gear talk. There's one that says subscribers only chat. That is for subscribers to our website, which, by the way, if you become a subscriber, you get access to all of our online training for one monthly cost, or you can do it for the year. And right now you get our pace planning book for free if you sign up to be a subscriber on our website. And I think it's $19.95 a month, but it not only gives you access to all of our instructional films, but it also gives you an automatic 15% off of all gear on the site. But if you do that, if you sign up to become a subscriber, don't sign up to be a subscriber and then throw some gear in the cart at the same time, because you need to actually become a subscriber first, and then your account is created pretty much right after you finalize it. And then if you go back on, you'll start seeing the slashes of the pricing, because the 15% automatically comes off all the gear after you're already a subscriber. And it's a great way to get access to all the content without having to buy USB thumb drives or DVDs or things like that. So it's pretty handy. All right, so that Discord link is in there again. Wait, Ambient says I did, but it got wrecked by some sort of animal. Well, Ambient, you got to keep better eye on your crops. Just want to point that out. See, I told you he wasn't a farmer. And I think Well, I guess it depends on when I get those topo maps. Again, hey, if you guys want to get really good topo maps, you can just go to mytopo.com. You can do it for any part of the United States. You can also do it for, you can get a topo map of, you really can't get it much bigger than one town at a time. But if you get a topo map of, say, the town that you're in or the city that you live in, it'll show you a little bit of the bordering towns. And I believe the scale is 1/24th, but you can do custom topo maps. So if you go on the mytopo.com website and you want to do a custom topo map, you can do that. And I believe you can put it in the 1/25th scale or whatever scale that you prefer, depending on your compass, because you may have a compass that's a 1/25th or a 1/24th, and you want to make sure your topo map has the same scale as your compass. You don't want to use a 1/25th scale compass with a 1/24th scaled map. You can, but obviously it's not as easy. By the way, I am by no means not even remotely close to being a land nav expert, not even a little bit, but I do have some basic knowledge. So I have a lot to learn when it comes to land navigation. At some point, I'm going to take the Gray Bearded Green Berets course, which is, I think it's his Master Land Navigator course. Everybody that's taken it says it's amazing and you learn a lot very quickly. So I definitely want to take that course with him at some point. I don't think I have any links for that one, but you can just look him up. Gray Bearded Green Beret. And we also have a land navigation film, whether you buy it as a... actually, you can't buy it as a DVD because we don't currently have DVDs. We only have USB thumb drive or online streaming. We may bring the DVDs back, but we actually sent them out because we're trying to get our films on the TikTok shop, and we're going to start off with DVDs. I know people think DVDs, that's like, what is this, 1980? But a lot of people still like DVD. You'd be shocked. A few years back, we tried to get rid of them completely, and people freaked out, sent a bunch of emails. Hey, how dare you get rid of DVDs? I didn't even know people still had DVD players. But most of the gaming systems, if you have kids, like the Xbox and the PS5s and the PS4s, you can play DVDs in those. So apparently it's still a thing. And I don't think Blu-ray is... somebody asked us once if we were ever going to make our films on Blu-ray, but I don't even think Blu-ray is really a thing anymore. It never really caught on. It never caught on very much at all, I don't think. So I don't know what the next source of media is going to be. Is it going to be a physical disc, or is it going to be some kind of a locked USB thumb drive? Who knows? They still sell a bunch of DVDs for a lot of different things, so maybe someone has just not come out with a better technology. Obviously, online streaming has become very big, so maybe online streaming is going to replace most of that, like streaming with Netflix and Hulu and all these other crazy things that you can get online. So maybe they're not going to come out with another physical device. Maybe it's just going to be online streaming. But the survival and preparedness and even the tactical industry is really taking advantage of the online training. And Survival Doctors, survivaldoctors.com, he's got a lot of stuff coming out. He's got some really exciting things. I talked to him on the phone today, and he's got a lot of really good instructional stuff when it comes to survival and survival medicine. It's just a lot. So I'm really interested to kind of dive into that and see what's going on. MC Stormy says, haha, it's a thing. Can't online movies if the internet's down. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a problem. But that's why if you buy the USB thumb drive, that's why we carry the films on a USB thumb drive. People are like, why would you do that? Somebody could just copy the file and give it to somebody else. Yeah, you could do that. But if you have the right equipment and the right technology, you could also rip DVDs. You can even screen record and take it off online streaming. There's always going to be a way for someone to steal content and get rid of it. You can do that. Yeah, you could password it, but that could be a technical nightmare, especially if you have customers that are not that tech savvy, and then you go putting passwords on the USB and you make it so it's more difficult. That could become a customer service nightmare. Heather Lee, welcome. Wait, Heather, are you just getting here? Man, you're super late this time. Wow. You're an hour and 7 minutes late to the stream. Heather. What is going on? Welcome. We're glad you're here no matter what. Is that a snowflake in the... Is it snowing where you are, Heather? I actually don't know what state you're from. All right, so again, if you did not already join the giveaway, Oh, I was going to say I'll say it again, but I don't think I said it yet. I think I was talking about this on a TikTok stream yesterday. We are not running this giveaway with any other partners. So when you give us your email address, it's only coming to us. We're not going to, obviously, we're never going to sell it. We're never going to let anybody else have your email address. And we're not going to send you like a million emails. We stopped doing the partner giveaways because I thought about doing it with a couple companies, maybe one or two, but I didn't because, so about a month ago, I signed up for a giveaway. I can't even remember what it was. And it was a partner giveaway. And there was multiple companies involved. And as soon as the giveaway was over, I must have gotten 5 or 6 emails a day from like 10 different companies. It was crazy. You just get bombarded. It's like they don't talk to each other. And Ambient, I'm going to spam your email specifically now just because you put that in the chat. And just so everybody knows, if you're on here from Facebook or X or Twitch, you're not going to be able to see all the chat because a lot of the people that are on here are on YouTube. So you're not going to see all the chat. I see all the multi-stream chat. So you may hear me say things and talk about certain comments. But unless you're on the channel that they're on, you're probably not going to see those. Well, you're definitely not going to see those comments. Because we are simulcasted on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time. MC Stormy pays for Ambient's email. Ambient, I'm going to spam you. So I'm actually going to put your email address in like a bunch of different locations, like a bunch of different online places. You'll start getting 100 emails a minute. I'm just kidding. I would never do that to you. That's terrible. That would be terrible. Now I forgot what I was talking about because I was messing with Ambient. And I also encourage everyone in the chat, if you're in YouTube chat, you can also mess with Ambient. He's a very, very, very friendly Canadian, and he's always apologizing, and he's just super nice. And we've been trying to toughen him up for years, and it really hasn't worked. So have at it. Go right after him. I'm just kidding. He's a nice guy. All right, anybody have any questions? Do you have any questions about any of the stuff we talked about when it comes to children's bug-out bags? I think when I get back this weekend, I got to see what I have for the extra Faraday bags because I'm probably going to add some Faraday bags to the giveaway. And then I may end up adding a trauma kit within a week or two. It really depends. I still have to actually order the backpack for the giveaway. I haven't done that yet. And I don't have any of the better ones in stock that I do plan on giving away in the giveaway. I think I'm probably going to go with the Rush 24 or the Rush 72. The 72 is more of a winter bag. It's much bigger. I think it's a 55 liter. So I may go with the 24 because winter's hopefully not going to be around for that much longer. Hopefully. Or I may just go with the Rush 72 anyway because it's a good size and you can fit a lot of stuff in there. And then hopefully whoever wins isn't like 100 pounds because then the backpack's going to be huge on them. It's going to look crazy. Or who knows, maybe we'll have, whoever the winner is, maybe we'll let them request exactly what type of backpack they want. Maybe they don't want a 511. Maybe they want something else. Or maybe they want a smaller, like Covert 18 bag that's, doesn't have MOLLE or things like that. Maybe that should. Maybe I should give people options as far as which backpack that they actually want. Within a certain range, of course. And depending on which suppliers I can get them from and how quickly I can get them. I don't want someone to wait forever after they win. I don't want them to wait like 3 weeks to get their stuff. We try to ship out giveaway winners stuff pretty much immediately. But I think it might be nice if they get some options on which backpack they want to choose. The rest of the gear, you get no choice. You get pretty much everything for shelter, fire, water, food, land nav, signaling. We're not going to have communication devices in there, although maybe that could be another. I think we have like 4 or 4.5 weeks left in the giveaway. So maybe this weekend we'll add some Faraday bags. Maybe the weekend after that, maybe we'll throw in like a ham radio set. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll throw in, I definitely have them in here. I just don't know which container they're in or which Faraday bag they're in. Maybe we'll throw in some of those UR5s, the Bofang ham radios. So maybe we'll add some ham radios to the giveaway as well. The Bofangs they're okay, mostly for beginners, which I am a beginner when it comes to ham. So, but they're decent. They're not bad. So maybe I'll throw in some of those. You know, maybe we will just add something else cool to the giveaway every week until the giveaway ends. And that'll give me a good reason to make a new video every week and jam this giveaway right down your throat. Of course, we are getting email addresses, so we will be able to keep up with you guys. We'll be able to send you blogs, occasional sales. We're not going to go crazy sending you sales emails. And I think I've already put the first 500 or 600 people into the email list, but there's no automated emails coming. I think I reached out to a couple hundred people and let them know, hey, thanks for joining the giveaway. But I'm going to wait until we get more people in, then I'll send out another email kind of as an update. Or maybe we'll do one every week and let everyone know, hey, by the way, we've now added Faraday bags to the giveaway. And then if we add those ham radios, I'll send another email the following week and say, hey, we just added the ham radios to the giveaway. Stuff like that. We'll make it interesting. Ambient. I don't take Canadian money, I'm sorry. I don't ship to Canada either. American only and U.S. shipping addresses only. We used to ship to Canada, and man, it's just really expensive. And now that there's weird stuff going on with the tariffs, and they had that whole postal strike up there, we stopped, and we decided not to bring it back. We also don't ship to other countries because, especially in the UK, a lot of the European countries have a 20% VAT tax, which is essentially you're paying, the Queen or the King the VAT tax. And we're not doing that. We're not paying any VAT taxes. We're not paying any tariffs. We're not doing any of that nonsense. Plus, it's a real nightmare depending on which country, because we have certain gear that customs in those countries won't want, and sometimes customers may not get it because customs give them a problem, and then there's duties and fees. It's just a real nightmare. It really is. And we don't really have enough international customers. If you're from another country and you want to get online training, you can do that because you can be a subscriber or you can just buy the online training straight out. But shipping physical products, we really switch that up. So unless you're on a U.S. military base in another country, which is fine, we only ship within the United States. And other U.S. territories like U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, things like that. So. Let's see. I don't want to say this name wrong. Strelasada? I'm probably completely saying that screen name wrong. It says the audio is frickin' good. That's good because I just got the new audio interface, and this mic's a little bit older, but the audio interface is brand new, and I was hoping that it would be good. So that works out. My audio before was with the wireless mic, which I thought sounded great. And then I listened to one of them, and it was really terrible. Strelicata. That's probably still wrong. It says it's impossible to say it when you speak English. Don't worry. All right, I feel a little bit better. Kind of. It sounds like a cool name, but Strelisada? All right, I give up. If you want to put what it sounds like in the chat, you could do that, and then I won't screw it up anymore, I promise. Otherwise, I'm just going to call you Strella. Hey, Strella. MC Stormy, one-stop shop for all your camping needs. If the world ends, I got an entire store 6 blocks away. I will take over. Oh, damn. Strella says, I can't even write how it sounds. Well, that is... Alrighty. Well, if you join our Discord, at some point, if you see me in there, you can jump into the voice channel on Discord, and you can say it exactly how it's supposed to be said, and then I'll know for sure. Oh, I just noticed. Strell, or maybe I won't call you Strella, I'll call you Strell, is on Twitch. Twitch is pretty new for us. We used to have quite a few followers on Twitch like years and years ago, and we had to start from scratch for some reason. The account was still there, but the followers were gone. Or maybe we used a different email and it was a different account. I'm really not sure. Strell says, I don't know, I have a headphone problem, but you are a little louder in my right ear than in my left. Anyone else in the chat, let me know if that's the case. If someone else is wearing a headset and I'm a little bit louder in one ear or the other, let me know. Yeah, a little louder in the right than in the left. I'm not sure. This should be, well, I can't really see the interface. It's kind of in front. But it should be in stereo, and it should all be, it's one channel, so it shouldn't, I don't know. Hopefully, don't take this the wrong way, but hopefully it's your equipment, not mine. But if it is mine, if someone else has a headset, or Ambient or Yoda, can you guys put on a headset for me? Since you're moderators in Discord, you have a little bit of responsibility. Can you throw on a headset and let me know if you hear me evenly in the headset, in both ears? I'd just be curious to know if it maybe it is something on my end, or maybe it's a setting on Streamlabs OBS. MC Stormy, you only work in my left ear. What? Really? I wonder if maybe I have something set wrong in the audio interface. Ambient says, go ahead, Yoda. Ambient, you're so lazy. Your name is literally Ambient Audio. And you can't put on a headset to help me test this out as the audio guy in the stream and the audio guy in Discord? You bet. Oh, it's MC Stormy says it's me. Uh-oh. I wonder if it's a setting in Streamlabs or if it's a setting on my on the unit itself. Maybe I put it in mono or something. Yeah, Strel, I definitely want to figure it out, though, because there are quite a few people that do use headsets, so I want to make sure this is not... All right, I'm going to take a look at something. I'm going to hit this Be Right Back button, just so you don't see me moving around like a weirdo, but I'll still be here. I'm just going to take a look and see if maybe I hit the wrong button on the interface. Let's see. All right, I'm going to check one more. I clicked the direct button. I don't know if that did anything. If you might still hear it the same. I'm going to look. I have, let's see. I'm going to pull up the software for this unit. This unit is brand new to me, so I don't know a lot about the settings, but I do have a control center that I can pull up and look at. I had it on headsets right through the device yesterday when I was on TikTok, and I could hear it perfectly in both sides. I wonder if something got screwed up between then. All right, let's see. This isn't even really giving me that. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Auto gain. I might have just... No, I didn't screw up the gain. Strel says, when I enable my 7.1 stereo sounds more acceptable, but I can still hear it. And Yoda, MC Stormy says, still left ear. That's very strange. All right, after the stream, I'll Google that and find out if I'm doing something wrong in the settings when it comes to... I wonder if I need to do... It's got to be a setting, something that's wrong in one of these, but I definitely would want to fix it and make sure it's not a problem. Because I could see how that could be very annoying if you have a headset. All right, hold on. I just clicked another button. Let me know if you can hear it in both now. There was an M and an S. I'm assuming one's mono and one's stereo, but I could be completely wrong. Yeah, ambient. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think I may have just put it in stereo, but I don't know. So let me know, Yoda, if... Oh, it's the same? Damn it. All right. I'll have to look at this after the stream and kind of figure out exactly what is going on. Because I only have gain where I can set auto gain and I can set a bunch of different things, but I don't see where I set it from mono to stereo. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Where is my headset? Well, I'm not going to do it now, but I will figure this out, see what's going on. It could be something in Streamlabs as well. Let me check my audio settings in Streamlabs to make sure that I didn't click something weird in the properties on Streamlabs. Let's see. So it's going direct through the interface. No, because I can down mix to mono, but I shouldn't have to. hold on. Let me try this. This isn't stereo anymore. Now let me know if you hear me in both now. Because I can down mix to mono instead of left or right stereo channels. But I don't know if this is going to sound different on... Oh, this is better? Okay. Yoda, same for you. Is this better now? This is basically routing the audio to the central channel instead of left or right stereo channels. All right, so I'll keep it here. It was definitely a Streamlabs setting. It had nothing to do with the audio interface. Because I was going to say, I had these really good studio headset, and I had it plugged into the interface yesterday testing out the audio, and it seemed fine. So Streamlabs is usually the culprit in things like this, I've noticed. So hopefully that's better for everybody. Yoda fell asleep. I would not be surprised if Yoda fell asleep. He used to do that occasionally in Discord. We'd be talking about stuff, and then next thing you know, I think one time he actually had his mic on and he was snoring, if I remember correctly. All right, both are working now. All right. Okay. Well, damn you, Streamlabs. All right. Hopefully it doesn't sound worse on desktop. If you have like a really nice speaker setup, hopefully I didn't screw that up for a lot of other people. But I'm sure if I did, somebody would let me know. And hopefully the auto gain is set. I think I have it peaking at like -6 or -12 or something to that effect. All right. I may jump off soon unless anybody has any questions. If you guys want to talk about anything specific or you have any specific questions about the stream in general or about anything that we were talking about, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'll be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Twitch. I'll wait a couple minutes. Hey, Yoda, I just saw the camera. I didn't even move, and the camera kind of did that little flutter. I got to look into that because maybe that's something with the firmware that needs to be updated or some funky setting in the camera. That camera is also pretty new, and it's the first one I've ever owned, so I will Google that and figure out exactly what is happening. All right. I don't see any questions. So, again, if you guys want to join Discord, go back into when this live is over, if you missed anything, if you want to go back and watch it again, you can watch it again on all those same channels, YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch. And you can go into the chat and you can look at the Discord link and whatever other links that I threw in here. I don't remember exactly what they were. Thursday, I don't know. Man, if I get those extra topo maps in, maybe we'll talk about the maps and a little bit of land nav and stuff like that on Thursday. But I don't think they're coming in that soon. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get those until next week at some point, but we'll see. All right, I am going to head out. Again, don't forget, go to the link in our bio if you want to join the Bugout Bag giveaway. One winner will win everything, all the gear, basically a fully loaded Bugout bag, and 9 other winners will, and the winner will also win the book, obviously, in our film. But 9 other winners, besides the first place winner, will win our book, Pace Planning. If you want to get our book anyway, you can check it out on Amazon. Maybe I'll throw that link in the chat right before I leave. Let me just look that up because I don't have that right offhand. Let's see. And it looks like we are still the #1 new release in outdoor survival skills category, but we're still not a bestseller. We were like #9 in that category. Now we're 33. So the numbers are fluctuating quite a bit. Amazon's kind of funky when it comes to that kind of information anyway. All right, I'd really like to get a shorter link. This one's crazy long, but let's see if I can just pull this one out. All right, let's see. You know, something else we could do, Ambient says land nav would be cool to see. We could actually play a couple of the shorter chapters of our land navigation film. So I'm not an instructor, but we have a really good land navigation film. So maybe we can pick like a certain topic when it comes to land navigation, and I can play at least a chapter or part of a chapter. I don't want to give everything away for free, of course. But we can play part of a chapter from our land navigation film. And we can all learn some more stuff that way. I've been thinking about occasionally putting up a chapter or at least part of a chapter on certain films as kind of a way to promote the instructional films and get people a little bit more familiar with our content if they do want a structured training program when it comes to online training. So you know what, Ambient, maybe if I don't get those topo maps, maybe this Thursday, maybe we'll play a little bit of the land navigation, survival land navigation course. We'll watch it right on here, have it in full screen. It's not a bad idea. See, Ambient, you are useful occasionally. And I just remembered, on my own, by the way, you should write this one down, that I need to turn my heater back on. And I only remembered that because it's actually getting cold. Ambient says, good idea. If I watch enough shows, I can see all the chapters for free. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work quite like that, Ambient. And I will... Yeah, I don't think I want to make the stream all about just showing, like, content. But I think it would be cool to show a couple chapters here and there of different films just to, you know, not just to give a little bit more knowledge, but to show you guys some of the stuff we have to offer. So maybe you'd say, hey, you know what? That was really good knowledge. Now I'm going to go out and we're going to become subscribers and get access to all of your online training. Or we're really going to rather pick up just that one film. Especially if you're in a different country other than the United States, you can do the online streaming. And once you buy one of our instructional films as online streaming, you have access to it forever, or, well, I would say until I'm dead, but someone else will probably take over Survival Summit if I'm gone. So you'll still have access to that training even if I do die. And I know I have a white beard, but I'm not as old as you might think I am. I'm not 50, so I'm still somewhat fairly young, I guess. And by the way, my hair's growing back. So for those of you who saw me as bald for a very long time, I'm not actually bald, but I'm probably going to shave it again soon because I have enough white on my face. I don't need to have white hair on top of my head as well. So yeah, you know what? Thursday, let's just plan on watching at least one really good section, and maybe it'll even be, 15, 20-minute section of the survival land navigation film, and that we could talk about some of that stuff. The guy in the film is Tops Albatron. He's a really good instructor, and it's a really good instructional film. Teaches a lot of really good basic stuff, and then a little bit more advanced stuff. It's great. And he's got a really nice model when he shows you kind of like a model version of a topo map and a model version of. It's really cool. Anyway, I'll figure that out probably Thursday when I get out of work. I'll figure out exactly which chapter I think you guys would really like, and not going to play the whole film, but maybe there's something. I got to figure that out because there may be a way where if you guys are on YouTube and you become like a monthly subscriber on YouTube, if you don't want to do it on the website, I might be able to add a lot of these films on the back end of a paywall on YouTube. And maybe it could even be a little cheaper, and I got to figure that out. But hey, being a subscriber on our website is also cool because, again, you don't just get access to the instructional films. You get 15% off of all of the gear that we sell automatically as a subscriber. And if you become a subscriber, you get our book, our new pace planning book, for free. And even if you only sign up for the first month at $19.95 and you get the free book, you can cancel and you don't have to renew the second month, and then you actually are paying $5 less for the book than you would have gotten the book for on Amazon. And it's free shipping because our website, thesurvivalsummit.com, we offer free shipping on everything, which sometimes hurts us because when you buy something that's relatively small and the margin isn't that high and we give the shipping for free, sometimes we don't really make any money. But it's hard to compete with Amazon and all these other, places that are much bigger than we are. So we're going to keep free shipping probably forever because I just don't care enough to try to change all that. And I think it's a really, really good feature. At first I think we did free shipping if you spent like $50, but we stopped doing that. Now we have free shipping on everything. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you buy something small, you're getting a pretty good deal because you're not paying for shipping. There's a lot of things that you might be able to find a little bit cheaper somewhere else, but with our free shipping, I think we stay a little bit more competitive. But obviously, we're not a super huge company, so we don't get the same benefits of, bigger companies that buy 1,000 of an item instead of us buying like 10 or 20. Yes, MC Stormy, except to Canada. Absolutely correct. We no longer ship to Canada. And we only ship within within the United States and U.S. territories or U.S. military bases around the world, because you can send that through regular USPS if it's a military base, no matter which country it's in. So it's a lot easier. There's just too many tariffs, too many taxes, too many things with customs. We're not a big enough company. We don't have a big enough audience outside of the United States anyway. So it's just not worth it. And there's myself and my wife that essentially run all of Survival Summit. So we don't really have a staff to take on figuring out all the customs and all the crazy. There's just a lot involved when you're shipping to other countries. It's very, very, very involved. And there's a lot more going on when it comes to like the VAT tax and the tariffs and things like that. It's a nightmare. And it's not a nightmare that I want any part of. So, sorry. But hey, again, you can get online training because we don't have to ship anything. So you're welcome to do that. And keep it in mind, if you become a subscriber for the online training at $19.95 a month and you live out of the country, we are not going to be able to send you a book. But what I might be willing to do, if you become a subscriber from a different country, if you want the Kindle version, we can probably buy you the Kindle version on Amazon if you become a subscriber. Wouldn't be a big deal. And I think we'd actually have to pay full price for the Kindle version to do that for you. But we'd be willing to do that because we know it can be, you don't get as many benefits if you're a subscriber. Yes, you get all the access to the online training, but you don't get the benefit of the 15% off because we don't ship outside of the United States. So we can probably slip you over the Kindle version. Or if it's in April, because right now, if you buy the Kindle version of the new book on Amazon, if you have Amazon Unlimited, you don't have to pay. I think you get it for free. But I'm not continuing that after the 90 days, so after April, because if I don't continue that program with Amazon for the Kindle, you can still buy the Kindle, but it won't be free as part of Unlimited, because then I can sell the electronic version on my own site. Which would make it easier if somebody becomes a subscriber from a different country. I can still send them the book for free in the electronic format. But while I have that deal happening with Amazon, I cannot sell or provide the Kindle version, or basically the online version of the book, because that is against the terms and agreements that I made when I self-published the book. All right. Looks like we have about 25 people. I don't know exactly which channels you guys are from. I'm assuming most of it is either from X and YouTube, and maybe a couple on Facebook, and maybe even a few on Twitch. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this week, we will play at least one or part of a chapter from our survival land navigation film, and we can learn some cool stuff about land navigation, and then after, we can talk about whatever you guys want. All right, I'm going to head out. I got to get up early tomorrow, which is pretty much the same during the week for me all the time. If you guys have any questions, you can email them to info@thesurvivalsummit.com, or if you want to jump on Discord, that Discord link is in the chat. You can send questions in Discord as well. If you have a question for me, just make sure you tag me at Survival Summit and then ask the question, because I'll be far more likely to see it if I'm tagged in it. Same as if you want to tag EJ Snyder and ask him a specific question, or if you have a question about off-roading or overland vehicles, you can tag Nino418. You should be able to see him over in the right-hand column when you're part of Discord. He's one of the moderators, as is EJ. And again, don't forget, sign up for the giveaway and have your chance to win a fully loaded Bugout bag. All right, I am out of here. I will see you.